Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. This week's slow-burning storyline involves Thomas on The Bold and the Beautiful. We're happy to have him back, but not like this. Most viewers were holding out hope for a #Taupe reunion. Thomas confessed to Ridge that he hasn't been doing well since losing his fiancée and his job. He's depending on Ridge to keep him on the same path, which doesn't bode well for this character. Thomas, Matthew Atkinson, is back at Forrester Creations. But he's not there to work, he's there to check in on Ridge, Thorsten Kaye, and to set him straight. He wants to make sure that his father will follow through on his promise to marry Taylor, Rebecca Budig. Sadly, Thomas doesn't have anything else going for him right now. He ended his engagement to Paris, Diamond White, after he found out that his mother was scamming Liam, Scott Clifton, and Bill, Don Diamond, out of $1 million. He's also not working as a designer anymore, which leaves him at a crossroads. Needless to say, Thomas isn't doing well. He demanded that his father keep their family together since it's all he has at the moment. Knowing that his family will stay together will keep him happy. However, Ridge is still in love with Brooke, Catherine Kelly Lang, which could spell trouble for everyone involved. We know that Thomas hates Brooke, and the feeling is mutual. But his hatred runs deeper. He blames her for making his father leave his family for her. This puts Ridge into a difficult spot. He's not sure whether he should stay with Taylor or mark his destiny with Brooke. Ridge might marry Taylor just to satisfy his son. But then he could have a moment of weakness, which could lead to the ultimate family betrayal. The way that Thomas has been talking lately has us wondering whether he's going to go down the deep end again. This time, he could hurt Brooke and Hope, Annika Noel. This will make Hope realize how dangerous Thomas is. And then she'll want nothing to do with him ever again, leading to a Lope reunion. As we know, Liam has been adamant about getting his family back together. And nothing will stop him, not even Carter, Lawrence St. Victor. But it's Thomas who can take things to a dark and dangerous place, despite fans wanting him to stay out of his parents' business. Hopefully, Ridge and Taylor will notice the red flags before it's too late. Sunday in Los Angeles always carried a certain calm over the sprawling city. A brief reprieve before the chaos of another Forrester week. But in the Forrester mansion, Sunday had a different rhythm. A tension-soaked prelude to drama, betrayal, and heartbreak. This particular Sunday was shaping up to be one of the darkest yet, one where family loyalties would fracture, old wounds would reopen, and Thomas Forrester's shadowy side would emerge more ominously than ever. The day began deceptively serene. Ridge Forrester, the iconic designer with the heart of a romantic and the instincts of a leader, sat in the sunlit living room, staring at the Forrester family portraits that lined the walls. His mind, however, was far from peaceful. The past few weeks had unearthed cracks in his family's foundation, cracks that were widening with dangerous speed. Taylor's uncertainty about her own feelings, Steffi's insistence on controlling her own destiny, and now Thomas's increasingly erratic behavior all gnawed at him. Yet nothing could prepare Ridge for the latest betrayal. A revelation that shook him to his core. The family he had devoted his life to was slowly turning against him, or worse, keeping secrets that threatened to destroy everything he had built. It started with a seemingly innocuous conversation between Brooke and Ridge over breakfast. Ridge had been planning to reveal a major new line for Forrester Creations, a collection that would redefine the brand and cement the family's legacy for decades to come. Brooke, ever the loyal partner but sometimes unpredictably influenced by old instincts, hesitated as she spoke. "Ridge, maybe you should wait," Brooke said softly, her fingers twisting the napkin in front of her. "There are things going on that you don't understand yet." Ridge frowned, sensing the hesitation. "What things, Brooke? This is our family, we face things together." Brooke's eyes darted nervously, a look that Ridge knew all too well. "It's about Thomas. And some decisions others have made, behind your back." Those words landed like a thunderclap. Ridge's jaw tightened. Thomas, his son, the child he had adored and tried so hard to guide, had been acting secretively. Ridge had sensed it, yes, but he had hoped it was merely a phase of ambition or teenage rebellion lingering into adulthood. "Explain," Ridge demanded. Brooke hesitated, then spilled the truth that would ignite a slow-burning fire. Thomas had been manipulating both Steffi and Hope, subtly influencing decisions at Forrester Creations, and even bending Ridge's most trusted allies to his will, all without Ridge's knowledge. For Ridge, it wasn't just the secrecy, it was the betrayal. The idea that his own family could undermine him so quietly, so efficiently, without a shred of conscience, left him reeling. Meanwhile, Thomas Forrester sat alone in his studio, a smirk playing at the corner of his lips. The Forrester mansion had grown quiet, yet Thomas thrived in the shadows of silence. His mind raced, not with guilt, but with excitement. For Thomas, betrayal wasn't just a game, it was a weapon. Every secret he uncovered, every manipulation he orchestrated, only fueled his determination to seize control of the family empire, and more importantly, to claim what he had always believed was his birthright, Steffi. Thomas's charm had always been a double-edged sword, dazzling to those who loved him, dangerous to those who underestimated him. And now, after years of feeling overshadowed by Ridge's charisma and Steffi's autonomy, Thomas was ready to step fully into his darker tendencies. He thought of Ridge, of the unwavering loyalty Ridge expected, and laughed softly. "You taught me everything about being a Forrester, Dad. Now it's time you learned the consequences of your trust." Thomas's first move was subtle but devastating. He began planting seeds of doubt in Steffi's mind, exploiting her fears about family loyalty and trust. He reminded her, slyly, that even Ridge could make mistakes, that Brooke's counsel was sometimes clouded by emotion, and that perhaps only Thomas truly understood the delicate balance required to run the family business and protect the family itself. By evening, Steffi's confidence wavered, her trust in Ridge and Brooke shaken. And in that vacuum of uncertainty, Thomas's influence grew, quietly weaving a web that only he could navigate. Sunday's dinner at the Forrester mansion was meant to be a family gathering, a symbolic gesture of unity. Ridge had insisted, hoping to reconnect with everyone and assert the importance of open communication. But as plates clinked and conversations circled, the tension was palpable. Steffi's responses were clipped, her smiles forced. Hope, sensing the undercurrent, shot Ridge concerned glances, silently questioning what was wrong. Brooke's subtle nods to Thomas went unnoticed by Ridge, but did not escape the ever-watchful eyes of the younger generation. Thomas, seated strategically, watched everything with predatory calm. Every whispered word, every glance of suspicion, every sign of doubt was ammunition for him. The slow burn he had ignited earlier in the day was now spreading, seeping into the hearts of the family he had long claimed to love. After dinner, Ridge retreated to his study, the weight of betrayal pressing down on him. He picked up the latest sketches from the upcoming collection, but his creativity faltered. Every line, every color choice, seemed tainted by the knowledge that the family he loved might already be fracturing beyond repair. Hope Logan, ever empathetic yet fiercely independent, noticed Thomas's behavior immediately. She had spent years observing the Forrester family dynamics, understanding the subtleties of manipulation and hidden agendas. That night, she cornered Thomas in the quiet hallway outside the living room. "Thomas," she began softly, yet firmly, "I see what you're doing. This isn't just about fashion or business. You're trying to control everyone." Thomas's smirk widened, almost amused by her naivety. "Control? No, Hope. I'm guiding. I'm ensuring the Forrester legacy survives, in the hands of those capable of seeing the bigger picture." Hope's eyes narrowed. "And what about Ridge? What about Steffi? Are their lives just collateral damage in your grand plan?" Thomas leaned closer, lowering his voice. "Sometimes you need to break a few pieces to see the whole puzzle clearly. Don't you agree?" Hope stepped back, unsettled but not defeated. She understood the stakes. Thomas's descent into darkness wasn't sudden, it was a slow burn, meticulously planned and executed with precision. If Ridge didn't act soon, the damage could be irreversible. Later, Ridge met with Brooke in the quiet of the lounge, the weight of the day heavy between them. "Brooke, how long have you known about Thomas's scheming?" he asked, his voice barely concealing the mix of anger and hurt. Brooke sighed, avoiding his gaze. "I suspected, for weeks. But I didn't want to alarm you until I had proof. Ridge, he's smart, too smart. And he's dangerous when he feels cornered." Ridge ran a hand through his hair, a gesture of frustration and despair. "My own son, my family. I spent my life trying to teach them love, loyalty, and yet here we are. Betrayal running through the veins of the people I trusted most." Brooke placed a hand on his arm, a small comfort. "We'll get through this. But you have to understand, Ridge, Thomas isn't just a child anymore. He's a man with ambition, cunning, and a willingness to play dirty." Ridge's eyes darkened. "Then I'll have to play dirty too. For the family, for Forrester Creations, and, if necessary, for Thomas." As night fell over Los Angeles, the mansion quieted, yet the tension lingered like an uninvited guest. Thomas returned to his studio, lit only by the soft glow of his desk lamp. He spread out the schematics for his next move, a calculated plan to further destabilize Ridge's influence and tighten his grip on the family's future. Every detail was precise. Whispers to Steffi, subtle manipulations of hope, and indirect influence over Brooke and Ridge. Thomas knew the slow burn would take time, days, maybe weeks, but the fire, once ignited, would consume everything. Meanwhile, Ridge lay awake in his room, replaying conversations, reconsidering alliances, and grappling with the painful reality that his son's darkness was no longer a temporary storm, but a persistent shadow. He knew confrontation was inevitable, but so was the risk of pushing Thomas further into the abyss. This slow burn Sunday marked the beginning of a new, darker chapter for the Forresters. Betrayal had been planted, doubt had taken root, and Thomas had fully embraced the darkness that lurked beneath his charming exterior. For Ridge, the challenge was monumental: how to protect his family while confronting the son he had raised with love, hope, and unwavering belief in redemption. As the city slept, one thing was clear: the slow burn was only just beginning. Ridge's world had shifted irreversibly, and Thomas was no longer the boy who once sought approval and affection. He was a force of cunning ambition, a storm waiting to break, and a reminder that in the Forrester family, the most dangerous battles often start at home. For the viewers of The Bold and the Beautiful, this Sunday would linger in memory, a day of betrayal, strategic moves, and the chilling realization that Thomas's darkness was ready to take center stage. The slow burn promised weeks of suspense, heartbreak, and the ultimate test of family loyalty. Ridge's next move would define not only his legacy but the future of the entire Forrester empire. Thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe our Bold and BAUTFUL UPDAT YouTube channel for more update news.